God morning, everyone. It is time to read the Bible. It's always time to read the Bible. 5 minutes a day. Matthew chapter 23, we're going to see Jesus pronounce 7 woes on the scribes, Pharisees, teachers of the law, and the Sadducees. The only way to translate the word woe from the Greek is how dreadful. How dreadful. These were the pastors and the preachers and the priests of the day. Their job was to lead people to God and give them a better understanding. And we're going to see what Jesus thinks about them. And as I told you 2 chapters ago, this crescendo is building because Jesus knows his time is short. Let's read. Then Jesus said to the crowds and to his disciples, "The teachers of the law and the Pharisees sit in Moses' seat. So you must be careful to do everything they tell you. But do not do what they do, for they do not practice what they preach. They tie up heavy, cumbersome loads and put them on other people's shoulders, but they themselves are not willing to lift a finger to move them. Everything they do is done for people to see. They make their phylacteries wide and tassels on their garments long." We'll go deeper on that, but let me show you something real quick. This is actually tied to the command, love the Lord your God with your mind, body, and soul. Most people do not know that Jesus is quoting an Old Testament verse when he says this. So about the phylactery, God told the Israelites to bind the commands on their forehead, like a bandana with writing on it. But they made phylacteries, a big rectangular box, and tied the boxes on their head and put the commands in the boxes. The bigger the box, the more important they felt and looked. They loved the place of honor at banquets and the most important seats in the synagogue. They loved to be greeted with respect in the marketplace and to be called rabbi by others. This is what our pastors do, the big ones, the megachurch leaders. They go on talk shows, get interviewed by news programs, they go to the White House. Those are perfect opportunities to preach or teach the gospel, but they don't. This is called burying your talent. We read about that a couple of chapters ago. But you are not to be called rabbi, for you have one teacher, and you are all brothers. And do not call anyone on earth father, for you have one Father, and he is in heaven. I didn't say it, Jesus said it. I'll drop a line in there on the deeper. Nor are you to be called instructors or teacher, for you have one instructor, that is the Messiah. The greatest among you will be your servant. For those who exalt themselves will be humbled, and those who humble themselves will be exalted. We have a Bible verse and a rhyme for that. That'll be on Wednesday. Woe to you, teachers of the law and Pharisees, you hypocrites! You shut the door of the kingdom of heaven in people's faces. You yourselves do not enter, nor will you let those enter who are trying to. I actually know a guy that quit going to church because of that. Follow our rules and, whatever. I don't care if it's rules. Keep your shoes on, don't swear. But some of the stuff they put on us is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. They're man-made rules. They're made up in the church, not in the Bible. But anyway, woe to you, teachers of the law and Pharisees, you hypocrites! You travel over land and sea to win a single convert. And when you have succeeded, you make them twice as much the child of hell as you are. Woe to you, blind guides! You say, if anyone swears by the temple, it means nothing. But anyone who swears by the gold of the temple is bound to that oath. You blind fools, which is greater, the gold or the temple that makes the gold sacred? You also say, if anyone swears by the altar, it means nothing. But anyone who swears by the gift on the altar is bound by the oath. You blind men, which is greater, the gift or the altar that makes the gift sacred? Therefore, anyone who swears by the altar swears by it and everything on it. And anyone who swears by the temple swears on it and everyone who dwells in it. And anyone who swears by heaven swears by God's throne and by the one who sits on it. But what did Jesus say and what did the Old Testament say? Don't swear by anything in heaven, on earth, in hell, under earth. Don't swear by anything. Swear to God, hope to die. Swear on my mother's grave. Swear on my children's life. God strike me dead if I'm lying. God says don't do that. Don't do that. Woe to you, teachers of the law and Pharisees, you hypocrites. You give a tenth of your spices, mint and dill and cumin, but you have neglected the more important matters of the law: justice, mercy, faithfulness. You should have practiced the latter without neglecting the former. You blind guides, you strain a gnat, but you swallow a camel. I'll give you that when we go deeper. Woe to you, teachers of the law and Pharisees, you hypocrites. You clean the outside of the cup and dish, but inside they are full of greed and self-indulgences. Blind Pharisees, first clean the inside of the cup and dish, and then the outside will be clean. I'll give you a line and going deeper there. Explain that. Woe to you, teachers of the law and Pharisees, you hypocrites. You are like whitewashed tombs, which look beautiful on the outside, but on the inside are full of the bones of the dead and everything unclean. In the same way, on the outside, you appear to people as righteous, but on the inside, you are full of hypocrisy and wickedness. Woe to you, teachers of the law and Pharisees, you hypocrites. You build tombs for the prophets and decorate the graves of the righteous. And you say, if we had lived in the days of our ancestors, we would not have taken part in the shedding of their blood, the blood of the prophets. So you testify against yourselves that you are the descendants of those who murdered the prophets. Go ahead then and complete what your ancestors started. He's talking about, go ahead, kill me too. Ooh. You snakes, you brood of vipers, how will you escape being condemned to hell? Therefore, I am sending you prophets and sages and teachers. Some of them you will kill and crucify. Others you will flog in your synagogues and pursue from town to town. And so upon you will come all the righteous blood that has been shed on earth, from the blood of righteous Abel, the first one killed for following God. That's the one that Cain killed. From the blood of righteous Abel to the blood of Zechariah, the son of Berechiah, whom you murdered between the temple and the altar. Oh, God. Truly, I tell you, all this will come on this generation. Jerusalem, Jerusalem, you who kill the prophets and stone those who sent you. How often I have longed to gather your children together as a hen gathers her chicks under her wings, and you were not willing. Look, your house is left to you desolate. For I tell you that you will not see me again until you say, blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord. I'm going to cut that off, but we're going to hit that in the deeper. God bless you, and you make a God-tastic day, everyone.